Okay, hi everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. Hope we had a great day. Hope your day went well. Yeah, I had a very busy day. As a matter of fact, I had to rush back. Thank you all. I can see you all. Thank you for joining. I had to rush back to be able to meet up with Real Estate Matters with the Lady Billionaire Realtor. Thank you all. I can see you. Thumbs up. Thank you for joining. Okay, so this is Real Estate Matters with the Lady Billionaire Realtor, where we talk about matters about real estate, basically, so that when we want to invest, we can have an informed decision. We have knowledge about the real estate market. So basically, this is what we do in Real Estate Matters with the Lady Billionaire Realtor. Thank you all for joining. Thumbs up. I really appreciate. I can see you all. Okay, so without much ado, because we're already I think almost 10 minutes late. Okay, so we're just going to go right away to our topic today. Remember, this is Real Estate Matters with the Lady Billionaire Realtor, and welcome. Please share, tell somebody to join us. This is very, very important and very interesting. We have a whole lot packed for us this evening. Okay, so today we'll be talking about Nigerian real estate market is still emerging. The Nigerian real estate market is still emerging. Okay, Nigeria has a housing deficit of about 20 million. Can you beat that? And so for the government to be able to meet up, bring down that housing deficit, they need to build about 700,000 houses a year. 700,000 houses a year. Okay, so that tells you that there is a huge market. And we have the population right here in Nigeria. We're about over 200 for something million people. And so the market, Nigerian real estate market, is an emerging one, especially the fact that we have a huge housing deficit in Nigeria. So that tells you that it is a gold mine that people should be looking into. So today we are going to be talking about Nigerian real estate market that is emerging. Okay, so the Nigerian real estate, according to Asset Intel, they said the market will continue to grow this year with sectors such as the residential, logistics, healthcare fueling this growth. So the market cuts across several areas. We have the residential. We have a lot. Not everybody can afford to buy a house or to buy a land and build their house. And so mass majority of people still look out for rent. And that's where the residential market comes in. There is always need for housing. And most people cannot afford to buy their house or to buy land and build. And so they'll go for residential. And so that area is an emerging market. It is still open. Okay, we have the logistics, we have healthcare. Like in the whole of Ajah, I think from the whole of Lekki down to Ajah, down to Eleko, we only have one government hospital. And so we have some, few private hospitals scattered here and there, but we only have one major government hospital. And so that area is an area that people should look at in terms of the real estate. Okay, look at, for instance, the new hospital in Lekki Phase 1 that they just opened. You see a whole lot of people, because when they just opened it, I saw so many cars parked there. I was not like, I think this hospital was not here in the first place. So you see, the healthcare is another sector that people are not looking at in terms of real estate now. Okay, so The increased demand for residential properties, coupled with limited supply of available residential properties, I already talked about, is sure to trigger amazing performance for real estate sector in this year 2022. So there is enough demand, okay, in these sectors, and as we go further, we'll begin to see all the opportunities, you know, in the real estate market currently now. Okay, we also have increased infrastructure development are set to bet key emerging nerve centers for real estate development in areas like Aja. As we all know, the government, the Lagos State government, in partnership with the federal government, are planning to start the 4th Mainland Bridge, which is supposed to kick off from Abraham Adesanya. We also have the construction of the regional road currently going on. We also have the expansion of the Eleko down to Ekpe. We already have, that road is almost completed. And we also have so many infrastructure development coming up in terms of expansion of road, creating new areas. And so this will also drive the real estate market, because, you know, anywhere there is road, you see that, you know, developments begin to come there, real estate begin to grow. Okay, so we look at areas like Aja, Ibejuleki, Ekpe Corridor, Yaba, and you know, there's so many infrastructural development going on across Lagos State. We look at the red link, that's the trade transportation that the Lagos State government. So all these things are pointers to the fact that you know, there is an emerging market. There's going to be a demand in all these areas that we have infrastructural developments coming in. Okay, so I said, if you are just waking up to the realization that you ought to be an investor in the Nigerian real estate market, you are still early. You know, a lot of people try to beat themselves up like, I should have started earlier. A lot of people have made money in real estate. I think maybe it's too late. It's not, maybe, I don't think I have it. There's anything there for me. So you now know that we have a housing deficit of 20 million. You now know that there is demand in the residential real estate. There's demand in logistics. There's demand in the health care sector. And as we go further, you begin to see all the opportunities available. So you are still early. So it's not too late. Okay, you are still early. If you think that, oh, I ought to have started, you are not late. But the thing is, you have to start now. Okay? And so here are some opportunities in the Nigerian real estate market that we can begin to take advantage of. Okay, Lagos is a major market where people from all walks of life can invest and grow their properties. You know, I think 2 days ago, over the weekend, I was speaking with one of my clients who's in Canada, and she was like, what's happening in this Lekki, Aja axis, Ibejuleki, and all that? That properties are just going high. What's happening in Lagos? The other states are not like that. But the truth is, we have mass migration of people into Lagos, because Lagos is a center of commercial activities. There's a lot of opportunities. As you well know, you know, you will see somebody that just came into Lagos, maybe they just graduated and they moved to Lagos in search of greener pasture to look for a job. And before you know it, in the next 5 years, the guy already has a house, he's riding a car, he gets married in Lagos. Okay, and so that's what is driving the price of properties in Lagos. And so Lagos is one of the best places that you can invest in real estate and, you know, enjoy mass return on investment. And so I'm going to be using Lagos as my case study. Although we have Abuja, we have Port Harcourt, but in terms of return on investment, and, you know, within a short time, you begin to get good return on your investment, we'll be looking at Lagos. Okay, so Lagos is a major market where people from all walks of life can invest and grow their portfolio. Okay, so these are some of the opportunities that you can consider investing in real estate. You remember our topic is Nigerian real estate is still emerging. We have seen the housing deficit. We have seen several areas where we can still key in as investors. Okay, and so buying into Offplan, that's one of the places you can take advantage of, investing in real estate. When you buy Offplan, you have the opportunity to spread your payment over a period of time. Okay, it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, it could be 18 months. It depends on the developer, actually. Okay, so you can take advantage of off-plan properties. We have a whole lot of them now. Before now, you have to bring out the lump sum to buy a property. But now we have a whole lot of properties, selling off-plan, including land, not just houses. And so we have different, different prices, depending on the location. And so you could key into any of these off-plan houses and pay over a period of time. Okay, another one is flip houses. Okay, you could buy into distress sale. At times, some people want to relocate, they want to japa, and so they want to sell their house quickly. Okay, like for instance, a colleague of mine gave me a property. Her client wants to relocate, and so they want to sell the house. They don't sell it below the market price, okay? Because if you're selling a distress sale, of course you're not going to sell at the market price, because the fact that when you buy this property, when you want to sell real estate, or say buy real estate, is something that you can keep, you can leverage on it, you can fall back on it. You don't really get buyers almost immediately. You have to take outside, you have to put it out in the market. At times you just have, you might have to do some sponsored adverts. You might need to inform a lot of people, and so at times it takes a little time when you want to sell your property. But if when you say it's a distress sale, you bring the price down below the market value, and that way you'll be able to get a buyer faster. So you can take advantage of buy a distress sale for somebody who wants to jackpot and they need money urgently. You can buy a house that is old and remodel it and resell. Okay, this is like the former president of the US. In fact, most of his wealth was generated from flipping houses. What he does, he goes to look for an abandoned project and go and buy it at a very cheap rate, and he remodels it and turns it into something very big, and sells it at a very higher price. So you can take advantage of flipping houses. That means you buy, look out for distress sale, look out for a house that you can buy, remodel, rebuild, then put it up and sell it at a higher price. Okay, so buying affordable plots of land with potential for future development and keep as a long-term investment. You can also look out for properties that you can buy, that's cheaper land that you can buy. I think it wasn't the same 2 days ago. I was speaking to one of my high net worth clients. Okay, and so he was telling me that he bought a property 1.2 million some years ago, not now. Okay, he said that's 1.2 million property. He eventually sold it and bought a bungalow. Okay, the 1.2 million was a land that he bought. Okay, and so he bought a bungalow. After a while, he sold the bungalow. In fact, to cut the long story short, that 1.2 million naira became 90-something million. Okay, he said the house that he lives currently, it was the proceed from that, 1.2 million naira. That is what he used, to buy his house. That's where he's living now. Okay, so where am I driving at? He was saying that, okay, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust my mind. Okay, so he was saying that, I was talking to him about one of our properties, is Simi Lagos. And so he said, these young millennials, they want to buy property, but he thinks that we should come up with something that is, affordable for them. Like, that was where he now told me about how he bought a property, you know, at 1.2 million. And he said, even if it's the Jebode, can you imagine that developer will get there eventually? And that was how he started. Okay, so buy affordable plots of land that has a potential. Okay, when you know, how do you know a land that has a potential, you know, to do well in the future? You find out where the people are going. Okay, so you find out, okay, what's going to bring people in this area? What would drive people? If you have, especially when you have monumental infrastructures, where you have government presence, you know that, oh, I think I should be looking towards this place. People are definitely going to come there because of all this, you know, all these monumental structures that are here and that are there. Okay. Okay. Another one is, I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to be talking about it in another context. Buy off plan. Initially, when I mentioned it, I said buy off plan and pay over a period of time, because you have the factor of time, because it's not easy to bring out a lump sum to buy most of those properties. And so you can take advantage of buying off plan, whereby you can spread your payment over a period of time. Okay, so buy off plan at conception stage and resell at, you know, higher price when the project is completed. I know a whole lot of investors that are doing this. In fact, one of our clients, when what's it called, Lekki County Apartment started selling, the one-bedroom apartment was selling for 12.5 million naira, and he keyed into it, and it was an off-plan project. At the time the project was ready, he sold, and he sold for almost 25 million naira. So you can see that was within 2 years. Okay, so you can buy off plan. These are some of the opportunities that a lot of people are not seeing. You can buy off plan when the project is about to take off, and when the project is completed, you sell. Because there are some people who don't believe in off plan. We have a client, she will tell you that, no, me, I don't want off plan. No, you know, all the stories and all that stuff. She doesn't want, she has her money. So she wants to buy when the property is ready. Tell me, that's what I will buy. You know, so some people don't believe in off plan, and so you buy at the early stage when the project starts, and at completion you sell to those people at a higher price. For instance, when we sold Urban Prime 1, we started selling a 3-bedroom terrace for 31 million. I'd made references to this particular project in most of my videos. And we sold at 31 million, like 2 years down the line. I don't think it's up. We started selling towards the end of 2019. In fact, at March 2020, we were selling that apartment, that's a 3-bedroom terrace for 31 million naira. The current price, and it's almost, you know, sold out. They're going to close sales on it. Is 66 million naira. So 2020, we're in 2022. Okay, so that's the benefit of off-plan. So you can key into an off-plan project when it starts. You know, you have the factor of time. There are so many benefits when you buy off-plan. And so when the project is completed, you sell. And remember, you paid over a period of time. But when you'll be selling, you'll be collecting your money in bulk. Okay, so you can take advantage of off-plan, you know, buy and sell when the project is completed. Okay, we also have short-term investments. Usually they are very expensive. Okay, this is like built-up houses or service plots in urban areas, because properties in urban areas don't, you know, they don't come cheap. And so you can look out for a property. For instance, there was a property terrace in Ikate we sold for 75 million naira last year. 75 million naira last year. The current price, the owner bought at 75 million naira and wants to resell now at 120 million naira. Okay, so but he paid outrightly. Okay, so you know, if you have money, if you have raw cash, you can look out for things like this. And so he bought that property last year for 75 million naira, and now he's going to sell for 120 million naira. Look at the margin, the profit margin. Okay, so you can take advantage of short-term investment like built-up houses. You just buy it once the project is completed and wait, hold it and wait for a while and sell at a higher price, just like this client is about to sell his property. When he bought for 75 million and is about to sell for 120 million, something he bought last year. So these are some examples of short-term investment. You can also take advantage of service plots in built-up estates. You know, there are some developers that always look out for, you know, these properties. You can buy it at a cheaper rate and hold it for, let's say, 6 months, 1 year, and you sell it. At the time you'll be selling, you'll be making a whole lot of money. You can take advantage of short-term investment, but this type of investment always require huge capital. Okay, so another thing, opportunity in the real estate market is rental income. Rental income. Remember I talked about massive demand, massive shortage of residential properties. People are always looking for house to rent. Okay, people are always looking for house to rent, and so rental, you can make money from rental income. You can buy, you don't, this time around you don't have to build a house. In fact, my client on Saturday came to check his property, and he brought a friend of his to check his land. He wants to start building. He's an architect, and so he was telling us that he's not going to buy land, though the stress in building house is too much. He doesn't want to deal with, you know, the workers, you know, this you know, the whole problem that comes with building a house. And he's an architect, so he's a builder, and he said he doesn't want to be, he was just going to be buying houses. Okay, so to get enjoy rental income, you don't have to build a house. We have a lot of apartments selling. We have a lot of, you know, houses selling. You can own several apartments. You can buy a studio apartment. You can buy a 1-bedroom apartment. You can buy a 2-bedroom apartment. You can buy a 3-bedroom. You can buy a terrace and just, you know, put it up for rental income. You can decide to do, you know, rental for 1 year, or you can decide to use it for shortlets. That's the new gold mine. Okay, a lot of people are cashing out from shortlets. Okay, so you actually don't have to build a house. Just look out for a good project, good location, nice environment, and buy the property and begin to enjoy rental income. So that is one of the gold mine in the real estate industry that you should take advantage of. Okay, another one is commercial real estate. A lot of people don't look at commercial real estate. Everybody is always, you know, looking out for residential properties, residential land. But that is one area a lot of people are not looking at. I know a whole lot of people who called me and said they wanted an office space, they wanted to open some pharmacy and all that. Though I don't do rentals, it's only the properties that we manage. When the tenant is out, that's when we put it out there. We don't really do rentals, except for the Highbrow area, Ikoyi, Lekki Phase 1. So a whole lot of people, in fact, about 2 of my clients, they were looking for land that they could buy to build shopping malls. Okay, you know, when you have shopping malls, you have a lot of spaces. People, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs are coming up now. And so people want to get a small office, and people want to open pharmacy, people want to open hair salon. No, that is, you know, an aspect that a lot of people are not looking at. Okay, we also have event centers. A lot of people are cashing out from event centers. Look at the new event center that they just opened in Ikate. That's what's it called again? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that's in Ikate, just by the road. You see, almost everybody wants to do their event there. Those are some of the commercial real estate opportunities that a lot of people are not looking at. In fact, you know, when we sell land, we say there's commercial plots and there's residential plots. And, you know, commercial plots attracts, you know, extra fee. And people are like, this commercial plot is expensive, let me go for the residential plot. The commercial plots, by the time that estate starts, starts functioning, or if it's already an functional estate, the people will just be raking in money. For instance, they build a shopping complex. People will rent. That's part of rental income. For instance, a bank is looking for a strategic place to, put up a branch. That's where commercial real estate comes in. There are so many opportunities in the commercial real estate that a lot of people are not seeing. So it's time for us to begin to look at commercial real estate. There is a gold mine on its own. Okay? Then logistics. Logistics, that's another one. Okay, you know that because of COVID, a lot of us now buy things online. Before now, it wasn't like that. Especially me, most times, I don't like to stress myself. Okay, so most times, most of the things we buy now, we order them, online. And so, these people need where to store their goods. That's where warehousing comes in. If you see near Nikkei Art Gallery, you see Konga. You see the whole, that massive warehouse that Konga has taken. They are storing their goods there because they have to store it somewhere. Okay, so that is one aspect that people should look out for. That's another gold mine that you can take advantage. We're talking about Nigerian real estate is still emerging. These are some of the opportunities, the areas that you can look, you can look to invest in 2022. Okay, so apart from warehouse, bonded terminals, truck park. Now we are still selling plots of land in Ibejuleki, in Epe. There'll be a lot of industries, like we all know. Some of us might not know. A lot of companies have moved into Alaro City, about 45 companies. We still have a lot of industries coming up in Ibejuleki. And so there will be need for where truck will park. So you can buy this part of commercial real estate, you can buy a large expanse of land for truck park. That's another area that we should look at. It is staring at us in the face. Okay? And so we move further. When you're investing in real estate, you look at long term. Look at long term. Real estate is not a hit and run. And that's why a lot of people fall victim. A lot of people don't see real estate like, well, it takes time. It's going to take time. When will my property mature? Where can I sell? Especially if the property is, they buy it at a cheaper rate. Recently, I was talking to some of my clients, and they bought property in Eleko, and they're like, can we sell now? I was like, why do you want to sell now? It is a long-term investment. Even though the property has appreciated, they bought at 2.6 million. Property in that area is now selling for 5 million. That's not enough. Because the longer you wait, that's when you will reap it real big. Remember my client that shared his experience where he bought a land worth 1.2 million naira, and that property, generated about 90-something million. It was not a 1 year wait. It was not a 2 year wait. In fact, when he was talking to me about we coming up with cheaper properties in terms of land for the upwardly mobile millennials, that even if it's Ijebu, they just wait a little 5-7 years, it would have changed. Okay, so we must have a long-term mindset when you're investing in real estate. It's not a hit and run. It's not Baba Jebu Abi. What's all these bets that's all over the place? Okay, it's not. Let's just see what they used to use in those days. Kalo, right? Okay, so real estate investment, you have to have, a long-term mindset. Okay. I always advise that you look out for very affordable, service plots land, buy multiple plots. I always advise that buy multiple plots, because there are so many things you can do when you have multiple plots. You can take advantage of JV. For instance, you want to develop, you can, you know, bring in the people who will build. You have the land, and you know, you agree on the sharing pattern. You can decide to sell, you know, to sponsor, to fund the project, you know, to start a business. You know, there are so many opportunities that comes up. Like I mentioned, taking advantage of distress sale. If you have multiple plots like that, you can easily sell, you know, and look out for some people want to sell businesses. Okay, so that's why it's good for you to buy multiple plots. Okay, you buy multiple plots and leave it. Don't be in a hurry. You know, some people are always in a hurry. They buy property last year. They say, let's see how much is my property now. They bought it and maybe, let's use 2.6 million. It should be 15 million. Is it magic? Okay, you leave it for a while. And when you leave it for a while, you will be amazed at how much that property will be worth in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 15 years' time. I talked about in Fort Echo, where she told us how her father bought her properties at Ijego, that's around satellite area, for very meager sum. And when they started saying, because you know, we have a lot of tank farms around that area, they sold for, you know, it ran into billions of dollars. Okay, so that's the kind of, he bought it in the 80s. So have a long-term mindset. You know, we'll talk about short-term, we'll talk about rental income. There are some properties that you can buy and still, you know, recoup your investment short-term, but there are some properties that you have to wait. And when you wait, you really get amazing return on this investment. Okay, so a lot of young people today, millennials and GZ, you know, millennials don't even know that this is the best time to begin their real estate investment journey. I'll give an example of Keith Daniels. He's an artist, he's a Nigerian artist. His wife gave birth to twins last year, and he bought a house for each of them. How many of us have bought properties for our children? You go say, I will never pay school fees finish. You see, which buy. It is important to buy properties in your children's name. He's a millennial. Okay. I also have a client, a very young lady. She just started her real estate journey last year. I think I mentioned it in my first video for the year. I think last week, yeah. You know, she was so angry with herself that she entered, you know, the previous year with just 80,000 naira, and she discovered that she made a whole lot of money. How come? Without anything to show for it. And so she made up her mind that this year, 2022, she's going to start her real estate journey, and so she has started. A lot of millennials spend. In fact, this week I saw. I'm just digressing. I saw a receipt from one of these popular, you know, entertainer. Spent 8-point-something million in a restaurant. In my head, I was just like, this is 300 square meter at Isimio. Okay, and so you have that every day. A lot of millennials, they spend a whole lot of money buying, you know, trivial things that are not of importance. When should you start your real estate journey? You start now. You know, the future you want to see, the future you picture yourself, you have to build it now. You are getting small money. We have a lot of millennials doing well, entrepreneurs. They are doing very well. It's not enough to pay your bills. It's not enough to, you know, have a nice car, wear nice dresses, wear bone straights, even though we need to wear it. That is not enough. Because I remember then when I was younger, our mothers, they were really all about Hollandis, bead, nice dishes, you know, and after a while, you know, all those things, they didn't make sense because you can't fall back on those things. Yes, you might decide to go and sell your coral beads. How much are you going to sell it? So begin to invest now. You are not too young to start investing. If you're past the millennial stage, you can start investing. It is never too late. Like I was talking about my clients, it's still investing. In fact, they have these old boys. Funny enough, I have one of them as my client, and so he is one of those old boys, you know. They've been buying properties since they were young. They went to the same secondary school. In the 70s, oh, they are still buying properties. That's to tell you the importance of real estate. He was burdened that we need to look out for something that these young millennials can afford. He said his youngest child is 36. He has a 34-year-old. He has 36. He has 37. He's telling them to begin to start investing in real estate. And he feels that they are even late. They are starting late. And so it is time for us to begin to look out for the opportunities. We have a whole lot. I've mentioned so many opportunities that we have in the real estate market, especially the Lagos, the Lekki, Ajah, Ibeju-Lekki, Epe axis. We have massive opportunities. It's an emerging market. The earlier you key in, the better you are going to reap it big. Just like this, my client who bought a property of 1.2 million, and the property, you know, appreciated and became 90-something million. Who don't want that kind of return on investment? Everybody wants it, including me. Okay, so how do you start? Start with what you have. A lot of people say, I don't have much. Real estate is for the rich. No. It is for people who want to be rich. As a matter of fact, someone said about 90% of millionaires became so through real estate. Okay, because it's a long term. It is not something you just... I was speaking to someone about a property, and he told me that I have like 6 properties. I don't think I need. Just 6. You need to keep buying. You have to continue buying. It's a process. You're building wealth. Like I always say, when they talk about the richest people in the world, they don't look at them in terms of the cash in the bank, because they don't really put money in the bank. Their money is in assets, real estate assets. And so you can never have more than enough. You have to start buying, but start with what you have. Okay? Discipline yourself. Cut off on unnecessary spending. Chilling with the big boys. Those are unnecessary spending. There's time, that time will come. You know, when you have, like I mentioned, King Daniel, he bought 2 properties for his twins that came last year. Where he stays, he has about 2 properties there. He has almost everywhere. He's still buying. So don't begin to look at, oh, I'm too young, real estate is too expensive. The little money you are having to buy that, you know, that designer wristwatches, you know, everybody, you know, they just, you know, the picture, everybody shows their designer wristwatch. Yeah, it's good. We want to look good because we work for our money. It's nice. But those designer wristwatches, even if you want to sell them, you can't sell them for the price you bought them. That's the truth. But real estate, it is always on the increase. It's always appreciated, especially if you get the location right. And so it is time to begin to invest in real estate. Start with what you have. Okay, last week I mentioned piggy vests. There are some other, you know, like that, whereby you can lock in your money. Like, okay, I want to be putting 10,000. Don't give it to me. Just lock it for the next 6 months. Okay, so by 6 months, you look out for a real estate investment that you can put that money on. That is how to start. Nobody has all the whole money to buy properties. You take advantage of Offplan. You discipline yourself. You cut down on unnecessary expenses and start building your real estate portfolio. Now is the time to start. The real estate market in Nigeria is massive. We have 20 million housing deficits. So that tells you a lot. We have a lot of opportunities in the residential sector, commercial sector, in the health sector, in the logistics sector, a whole lot of opportunities. It's time to begin to make use of these opportunities and start investing in real estate. Okay, so thank you all for joining me in this live video. I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you and thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to use this opportunity to invite you all to our open house at the Oakley, Millennium Town, directly on the Lekki-Ekpe Express Road, Eko Akete, just by Abidjan GRA. Okay, so we are launching the open house where we have co-living space. These are, investment that you can take advantage of. We have a co-living, one-bedroom co-living as low as 12.5 million naira. So we have, come up with how this co-living space is going to look like. We have one-bedroom apartment. We have two-bedroom maisonette. Just come from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, on Friday I'm going to see my daughter in school. Okay, so I'll be on ground on Saturday and on Sunday. I'll be your tour guide. So I'm using this opportunity to invite you to the open house just by Abidjan GRA after Coronel International Schools. Is directly on the Lekki-Ekpe Express Road. You're not going to miss it. So make it a date with us. Thank you all once again for joining my video. Please, if you have any questions, please kindly put them. You can send me a DM, or I'm going to put this on my post. And for my YouTubers, please drop your message. Remember, integrity is our currency. We put all the cards on the table. We hold you by the hand and walk you through your real estate journey. Okay, thank you all once again, and have a great day. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. Have a good morning, wherever you may be watching me from. Thank you, and please keep staying safe. Bye-bye.